Hello and welcome to Rev Sports. Yet another dominant win by Team India in the T20I format. India has won the series and also the final T20I between India and New Zealand by 46 runs. A massive win for Team India. And of course, we're all thinking the same thing. Has Ishan Kishan's blockbuster performance put Sanju's future in danger? We had been talking about this and we thought maybe if Sanju performs tonight, it will brunt the force of the blow. But at this point, it doesn't seem like it. It seems like it is Ishan Kishan who will go ahead and take Sanju's place in the World Cup. But of course, we're only discussing that. Shomik, starting with you, do you think it's all done? We saw Ishan Kishan with the gloves tonight as well.
I hope so. I hope so because if India go on, just before going into that, a news update for our viewers. Tilak Verma has been passed fit by the COE. He will play two warm-up games before the World Cup. One is for India A on February 2 against US, and another is for India against South Africa on February 4. Both are at DY Patil. So that is the news update for our viewers. Tilak Verma has been passed fit, and now this match simulation. It's not match simulation. He has passed the match simulation, and now he'll return to competitive cricket, and that is sorted. So we can expect, and if I just want to carry it forward, so we can expect he would be India's number three in the World Cup opener against US on 7th of February. And in that case, who would be the opener? I'm coming to your question. And obviously, on form, it has to be Ishan Kishan. I just hope, I have an apprehension that if this team management has a tendency to back, in terms of backing a player, this team management has a tendency to stretch things a little too far. And in that case, if this thing, okay, we start with Sanju Samson at the World Cup, then Sanju Samson will score 70 or 80 against US, irrespective of his form. Against Namibia, against Holland, the associate nations in the group, Sanju Samson will score runs. But that would be, that will not be the right thing for India because that might sound trouble going ahead at the knockouts. So Sanju Samson, I mean, cast the dice when it is hot, and he is in terrible, he is in scintillating form. This kid, Ishan Kishan, play him at the first game. Tilak Verma at number three, and that should be the combination. On form, we have nothing against Sanju Samson, but on form, you have to give it to Ishan Kishan.
100%. I have no disagreement to that statement. Ashok, I tweeted a while ago with that video of Ishan Kishan celebrating his century, and I said, "Welcome back, Ishan." It's been a tough ride for him. 2 years out of the BCCI central contracts, there was, a bit of bad blood between BCCI and Ishan Kishan. It was quite clear that that was the case. But at this point, one, it's proven that BCCI does not hold grudges. Two, that Ishan Kishan was never really gone.
Absolutely. I think, while we are debating about whether Sanju Samson retains his position, I think if there was a template for someone who was out in the cold and who's got back in terms of redemption, then that template surely is now owned by Ishan Kishan. And today's innings, I think, just seals the deal in terms of someone who had to take a step back, go back to the drawing board. It's been, I think, roughly a 2-year break and then come back. And it's not just form. I think he has actually shown what he can add in terms of value to this team as it goes into the World Cup. If you look at today's innings, of course, he scored 100, and that celebration that you spoke about, absolutely all valid. But if what I was looking at was that between the overs 9 and 14, those 5 overs, India scored almost 100 runs at almost 20 runs a piece per over. That's the kind of acceleration that India is able to provide, and which just puts the match outside of the scope of any opposition to catch up. So it's not just about the position in the team, it's about the value that he brings. And I think he's made his case very, very strong.
Shomik, let's talk about Ishan Kishan's journey back to the Indian setup because it wasn't an easy one. Fitmonk here is saying, so finally justice has been delivered, but not to Sanju, to Ishan Kishan. I think it's worth talking about the way that Ishan Kishan was left out of the entire system for a couple of years, him and Shreyas Iyer both, but both are back now. What are your thoughts?
Gargi, there is still no substitute for performing in domestic cricket. Ishan Kishan has returned to the fold by dint of his performances in domestic cricket. If he wouldn't have played that innings in the Vijay Hazare Trophy final, and all the selectors were present, uh, 12 or 13 sixes he hit. So he wouldn't have been brought back to the Indian team fold. So there is no substitute in terms of putting in a shift, doing the hard yards, whatever happens, whatever, because your journey can never be linear. Be it cricket, be it life, be it whatever, your journey can never be linear. You will have ups and downs. It is how you handle the difficult moment that shows your character. And Ishan Kishan has shown character. He has, by dint of his runs in domestic cricket, he is back. He has done the hard yards. He has worked his socks off, and he is reaping the rewards now. So there is still no substitute of putting in a shift in domestic cricket. So Ishan Kishan is the front end, and it's great news for India. But the bigger picture is the strength of Indian domestic cricket, and long live Indian domestic cricket.
Oh, absolutely. We had been talking about it with this management as well. Domestic cricket is a huge measure of your success and if you want to make it into the Indian setup, we've known that playing domestic cricket is a huge criteria with this management. But keeping on that topic of Ishan Kishan, let you dream a little bit, Ashok. Ishan Kishan and Abhishek Sharma at the top. How does that sound? You're on mute.
I'm sorry. I think it's uh, at this current form, it's too good to be true. I think if there was one opening pair that could really put a lot of the teams out of the reckoning and put the fear into the opposition teams, then it is this pair. On current form, I think they can create a huge amount of havoc to the bowlers. And of course, it then begs the question that do we have a change in terms of because both of them are left-handed. Does it mean that Surya can come in at number 3 and Tilak Verma goes to number 4? Or does it mean all three left-handers? Frankly, I mean, we could debate this, but the format really doesn't matter whether it's all left-handers or not. And, it could perhaps be a tactical advantage. But on current form, I think both of them bring a potent force for the Indian team, which will really put a lot of fear into the opposition minds.
There are a lot of nice comments here in the comment section. Sports fan is saying yes, Ishan's form is fabulous to watch, but more than that, I think the biggest positive from the series is Captain Sky back in form and firing. Shomik, it's almost as if the Indian team has decided to peak at the right time. Entire unit is collectively firing. How are you looking at this throughout this series? Now that we've seen all of it, looking back on it, what are the biggest positives out of this series?
Gargi, they have been picking over the last 2 years since the 2024 T20 World Cup. I mean,
But this is a new
I'm
peak.
yeah, I am. I have started to think, is this team even beatable? Because it's, as far as batting is concerned, if they bat first, I mean, they take the game away from the opponents in the first 20 overs,
Mhm.
because the opponents is not scoring. I mean, they are not getting bundled out for low scores. They are scoring 200, 210, 220, but still India's total is a breach too far, right? As far as bowling is concerned, if Bumrah doesn't get you, Akshar will. If he doesn't get you, Hardik will. If he if Hardik has a bad day, then Arshdeep or Varun will. So is this team even beatable? India, this Indian T20 team, they have made an unpredictable format like T20 cricket, very predictable. In a way, it's a little boring because because other teams will play and India will win. At the end of the day, it's like the Germany football team at the 1990 World Cup. And Gary Lineker said, all the other teams play for 90 minutes, and at the end of the day, Germany wins. So this team is like, if I am allowed to draw a football analogy, this Indian team is like T20 team is like the German football team under Lothar Matthäus at the 1990 or under Lothar Matthäus' captaincy and Beckenbauer's managership at the 1990 World Cup. This team, I don't think this team is unbeatable. So I'm just off camera. I was talking to you, and I mean, I was just thinking, when is the victory parade starting? Whether eighth is the final, so will it be on 10th? So that is the question.
Hopefully, we're back in time, Shomik, because you're our Mumbai representative. You will have to go.
No, no. Eighth is the match. Ninth, I will be back. 10th, I don't think after the after the Bangalore incident, they will not do the victory parade on ninth. They will take
Right.
time
Yeah. No problem.
to make everything foolproof. So either 10th or 11th, I hopefully there would be a victory parade. And by the time the victory parade, the open the bus parade is starting, I'd be there at Nariman Point or at Wankhede.
We've got it all planned out.
Yeah, yeah,
Entire
yeah.
thing. We've not only decided our T20 World Cup itinerary, but also the celebration as well. So it's all good. But Ashok, now moving on from batting to bowling, the bowling department, Proshanjit here is saying Bumrah's downfall is real. Is what is real? Lost momentum? Question mark. Your thoughts?
I'm not sure what that question means. Downfall is real. What downfall are we talking about? I think, these kind of reactions, these kind of knee-jerk comments actually do not do any justice to the kind of bowler he is. Yes, Arshdeep Singh took the 5 wickets today, but I mean, we've spoken about this at length, which is that Bumrah is a talent, which is a rare talent, somebody who can come in and create a difference when it is really needed. And therefore, the question of downfall doesn't even arise to my mind. I mean, don't look at it as one match, right? Look at it as a series, look at it as a combination, look at it as psychologically what he brings to the table, from an opposition perspective. And then let's talk. I do not agree that there is any issue with the momentum. In fact, I think he's back in red hot form, and he's going to be a really good asset when it comes to the T20 World Cup for India.
What do you think, Shomik? A lot of people actually in the comment section are talking about Bumrah's performance today. Is this the maximum runs Bumrah has ever conceded in a T20I? But T20Is are always expensive for fast bowlers, is what I'll say. I don't think there's a downfall. But Shomik, your thoughts?
First of all, the pitch, whatever I've seen, the pitch was a belter. The bowlers barely had a chance. Number one. Number two is what I feel that Bumrah played these two matches just as extended warm-up fixtures. He bowled well within himself. I mean, he didn't. It's just like he treated these two games as extended warm-up fixtures. So I am not going to read absolutely anything into. If Bumrah would have considered 100 runs in his 4 overs, then even then I wouldn't have been concerned because Bumrah at the World Cup is a different beast. It's a completely different intensity. So it's a completely different tournament, and so and we are talking about Jasprit Bumrah here. We are not talking about anyone else. We are talking about Jasprit Bumrah here. We have to keep that in mind that we are talking about Jasprit Bumrah. So these are the questions. Absolutely. In fact, Gargi, I mean, I get a little irritated in terms of addressing these questions because Jasprit Bumrah in these two day drubbers, inconsequential games, It is just about going through the motions, just about looking at things like it is rhythm. Obviously, he would be very keen to ensure that, or he would always ensure that he didn't pick up a niggle, everything combined. It felt like he treated these two games as just extended warm-up fixtures. Bumrah at the World Cup would be a completely different ball game.
Agreed. And Ashok, back to Ishan. There's a question here that says Ishan batted at number three. Things might change if he bats at the top. What are your thoughts? Will a change in batting position change his approach, change his form as well?
I don't think so. I think the form that he is in, the approach that he brings to the table, I think he's really going after it, and it's not going to change whether he comes in as opening or whether at number three. I don't think that will change the way he's playing. I think the team has thought through this entire strategy, and if earlier we spoke about the team peaking at the right time, but it's not just Captain Surya Kumar Yadav and Ishan Kishan. I think we are forgetting the fact that Hardik Pandya played a gem of an innings today, and he's been, in sublime form all through the last 3-4 matches. The way he came in and belted those shots was just amazing. Also, Aksar, I had spoken specifically about Aksar in the pre-show, and I think he delivered. He's a captain's bowler. When Surya Kumar Yadav got the team together and briefed them and said that he perhaps admonished them, saying that with this kind of a total that has been posted, we cannot afford to let it kind of drag a little bit. Aksar came and delivered the goods, and he's a thinking bowler. He's able to get those breakthroughs when the team really wants it. So peaking is a function of all this, right? It's not just a function of one or two players delivering. But I think Ishan in current form, doesn't make a difference. I think he will create the same momentum for the team and put the same fear into the opposition minds.
All right, Shomik, someone saying, a fit monk is saying, please hold your horses, nazar mat lagao. But
No, I'm just giving my assessment based on this, the way this Indian team has been playing. I mean, there is no discernible flaw in this team. How do you beat them? If I am an opposition captain, I mean, I will start scratching my head. How do I
you
beat
go
them?
mad.
Where, who is the weak link in the side? There is no weak link. I mean, they have all the bases covered. Just imagine the strength of this team. This team can sit out the likes of Shubman Gill, Rituraj Gaikwad, and still can go and still can put out this kind of performance. Just think about the strength of this side. Unbelievable. The World Cup is India's to lose.
100%. If there's any weak link that I can think of that may not be, well, it is consequential, but may not harm India as much as bad batting or bad bowling, is catching. Unless any opposition is able to sort of exploit that, then that's something. But that's not something that the opposition can control.
Yes, and also the way they have been batting, Gargi. Now, when you are scoring around 250, 250 plus, you you give the fielders that leeway to have a few slip ups. No other team can have this kind of a luxury. But given the strength of this Indian team, they have this luxury. Even if a couple of catches go down, they would still come on top. Such is the strength of this Indian team.
In
Hopefully,
fact,
we don't see as many. Sorry, yes, Ashok, continue.
yeah, in fact, Gargi, just to add on to what Shamik is saying, I mean, if you look at the end of 10 overs, the difference between the two teams in terms of batting scores was not too much. But that is where they started after Finn Allen. Obviously, is in top form. He's delivered beautifully well, a strike rate of more than 184 in the BBL. So he came back and he's been at top form. But the moment Aksar got him out, you saw how the momentum dropped, and then a few wickets fell, and then it was all lost, right? On the other hand, India actually accelerated between overs 9 and 14, and that's what got us to 270 plus.
Gargi, the biggest strength of this Indian team is the steel, the mindset. It is not about they have in terms of skill set, and they have an abundance of skills, but it is the mindset. If if the opposition team is scoring 80 runs or 75 runs in the first 5 overs, I mean, they don't lose nerve. They know, I mean, well, our comeback is just a couple of wickets away. And that belief they have. If they lose 2 wickets for 5 runs, they know we have batting until number 8, and we'll go hammer and tongs. And at the end of the day, we'll put on 220 plus score on the board. So this belief, this still, this confidence, this is what makes India unbeatable.
In fact, I agree
100%.
completely on that. Just to add, we've been speaking about batting and the strike rate, but if you look at what Arshdeep did, in the first 2 overs, he was belted for some 40 odd runs. He came back in the third over, and I think it was an excellent over where he took those 2 wickets
Yes.
and changed the course of the game. So between him and Aksar, those 2 overs really changed the tide. So that's just adding to the point that Shamik made, saying that the belief that this team has.
In fact, in that, I remember that over very well because this is exactly the point that I was thinking about. That in that second spell of his, I think he had bowled some four deliveries, 0 runs, and already 2 wickets. So that kind of flip around that Arshdeep is able to do is something that is phenomenal. All right, so we'll take a final couple of comments from our viewers and then close the show. Okay, this is not the one that I wanted to take. This is the one I wanted to take. Manikanta Suri is asking, what kind of pitches are expected in this World Cup? In India and Sri Lanka, what are the past scores? Shomik?
In India, 200 Pasco. Sri Lanka, I don't know. Colombo, the way pitches the way pitches are behaving during the in England versus Sri Lanka series, it could be 160 even. It could be 160. Pasco could be 160 even. In India, at least 200 to 210 is the Pasco. Pitches are going to be batting friendly.
All right, then. Last question here. True Wicket is saying Sanju Samson averaged 9.2 in this T20I series. This is his lowest series average in the format, minimum 3 matches. What has went wrong for him? Ashok, I think there's a bit of an issue with the footwork, but what have your observations been?
I thought it was not just the footwork, the back and away movement to the leg side is one part of it. But if you also saw the swing of the bat as he's bringing it down, is actually closed, and that's really the problem. Today, he was trying to hit that ball, from outside the off. He was trying to hit it towards the onside, and that angle of that bat really didn't work for him. I think he will need to go back to the drawing board and really sit down and work on this. It's not going to be just a simple issue where he will be able to correct this. I think he was really out of sorts, looking out of sorts today.
Just Gargi, just my 2 pence on this. I think, and we don't want to lose Sanju Samson in the sense that we all, even if he doesn't play, he is a member of, he is a part of the 15-member squad. He is a part of the squad, and you never know what his re-entry into the Indian team, if he is dropped, could be just one injury away. So we all want, irrespective of his failures, we all want Sanju Samson to be in a good headspace, in a good mental space. I think, technical aspects aside, it is the confidence issue. This game is 90% mental. It is the confidence issue. And Sanju Samson is the best judge. And I am nobody to offer him any advice. But I would be happy to see he is picking up the phone and dialing Zubin Barucha, his mentor. And that could be the trick to get back among ranks.
We'll have to wait and watch what happens from here on. Most likely scenario is that Ishan Kishan takes the opening position alongside Abhishek Sharma. Tilak Verma comes back at number 3. And this looks like a gun Indian team will walk into the World Cup as favorites. And this is India's World Cup to lose at home. So Fans, be ready for some incredible blockbuster performances on home soil. Apart from that one game in Sri Lanka, of course, where we will be covering the entire tournament from on ground. So stay tuned to Rev Sports. We'll start our World Cup build up soon. Thank you so much, Shomik and Ashok, for joining. We'll be back tomorrow. And don't forget to